Veteran broadcaster Ken Bruce has seemingly aimed a dig at the younger generation of presenters who have stepped in on BBC Radio 2 following his exit from the station, after a successful 46-year stint. Ken, who has since moved to Greatest Hits Radio to front his own weekday show, revealed his broadcasting golden rule isn't being adhered to by some of the less experienced DJs at the BBC. Without naming names, Ken, 73, who was replaced in his primetime Radio 2 slot by Vernon Kay, 50, mused, "I think some younger people in broadcasting, less experienced people, can say, they want to hear me talk about myself. And that's not necessarily true. It's not about what you say, it's what you don't say on radio. You don't have to talk a lot to make an impression. You can do that in 3 words or a sentence. You don't have to talk for 4 minutes about what you were doing or what you thought was funny." Ken went on to candidly voice his opinions on how BBC bosses have handled things at the station in recent years, claiming to the Sunday Times that decisions were not always made in the interests of the listener. To give an example, Ken says he was previously taken off his successful mid-morning show on Radio 2 and given an unfamiliar late-night slot instead, which frustrated him at the time. "I thought, I haven't done anything wrong here and it's all working. It was a political decision." Speaking out on his concerns for the broadcaster, Ken shared, "I do worry for the future of the BBC. I think it needs to watch where it is going. Commercial radio is really healthy, it is growing and growing and growing. And I just think it's difficult to reinvent something, the Radio 2 schedule, that has been successful for many years. It's a slow organization to turn around, like a supertanker. It needs people with vision to make sure it goes the right way." Ken decided to leave Radio 2 due to his own fears of becoming embittered. He told The Express earlier this year, "I was always really happy there, but when I got towards the end of those years, I was starting to think I'd been there too long. I didn't want to become embittered, or a little bit sour about the place and feel out of place, and I was just getting that feeling in the back of my mind that I wasn't as comfortable as I had been, say, 5 years before."